Welcome into the In the Money podcast for Wednesday, April 11th at Keeneland. Tom Leach along with Keeneland's Director of Wagering Development, Jim Goodman. And there's no stakes race on the Wednesday card. It's kind of a co-feature. The 6th and the 8th are both 1 mile allowance races for non-winners of two other than on the grass. And so they're split by a dirt race. And so the next to last race is not essentially the feature race on the Wednesday card. What we're going to do, since there's no stake, is just take a look at the late pick 4, which starts in the 5th race, Jim. It ends the early pick 5 and starts the late pick 4. By the way, I'll throw out there, I've hit the first 3 late pick 4s. Woohoo! Except you might be losing money if you bet the tickets. I think the first 2 days you scratched out a profit. I didn't look what the payoff was on Sunday. You might have actually lost a little bit, but 3 for 3, I'll take it.
Pretty chalky, the late pick. Yeah, I mean, you picked 12 races in a row, actually.
There you go.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I should have had a pick 12. It would have probably paid something.
That would have paid something, yes. The long shots have come in like in the first leg of the pick 5.
Yeah.
You know, Warriors Club won the other day, which was really surprising to me. But I mean, you look back and we talked about that, and he was usable. Maybe he was the 5th or 6th horse to use.
Those were deep races on Saturday.
Field. Yeah.
Other than the Ashland that had a small field, but everything else was really tough. Some good performances.
Yeah, Monomoy Girl wasn't too bad, was she?
No, she was not.
Pretty impressive. We had a great day on Saturday. I don't know if everybody heard, but we broke our all-time handle record with over $22 million.
Great.
22.6, actually. And we broke the all-time pick 5 record with $899,000, and pick 4 did over $1 million for the first time. And it just shattered old records by $300,000. So we had a great day, even though it was cold and snowy and only 14,000 people there. Everybody bet Keeneland off track, so we had a huge day. So we're actually up all 3 days for the weekend. So
well, let's see if we can keep it going.
Rolling here.
Give the folks some pick 4 thoughts to empty their wallets on the pick 4 for Wednesday. Let's start. The late pick 4 is what we're focusing on. It starts in the 5th race. There's a maiden claimer at 7 furlongs, and nice full field here. Where did you go?
Yeah, I went deep here. I've got a kind of a pyramid, reverse pyramid pick 4 going not too deep in the last leg. But here I didn't have a real favorite. I'm going to use Wesley's first-time starter Span on the inside with Jimenez. You know, Wesley's first-timers are not doing well, but he's done well with his other horses so far. He's already won, I think, 4 races in the first 3 days. I'm going to use Span. I'm also going to use the 2-horse Start With S. For B.J. Hernandez coming off a turf route at Gulfstream Park, or a turf sprint, 7.5 furlongs, with a lot of speed. The 6-horse Boru for Jordan Blair and for Florent Giroux. And the 7 Vandalay. I can't trust 0 for 10, though, so 0 for 10 maiden doesn't make me happy. That's a $40,000 claimer. But my top pick is Shiitake for Brendan Walsh. I think that last race at Fairgrounds, hung on the outside, just didn't really get in the race. I don't think he tried very well with him. But the race before that, he had 68 buyers. So that horse dropping from maiden special weight to 40,000, picking up Jose Ortiz versus Jimmy Graham is a big plus as well. And it's just this is a tough field. So it's one of those things that you look at the race and you go 5 deep, and that may not be enough. I want to also note that if you ever think the horse racing business is easy, take a look at Song of the Nile. Zayat Stables gave $575,000 for this colt, and he's run 4 times, and they're giving him up for $40,000. So it is a tough game, even though that bunch has done very well with Pioneer of the Nile offspring. So I'm going to go 5 deep there, 1, 2, 6, 7, 11.
As we always say, we don't talk about this beforehand, and Shiitake is actually the horse that I gave out for the Today at Keeneland show that airs before the races start as my long shot of the day at 10-1. It's the best price play. I like that cut back from 2 turns, and I like Ortiz in the saddle. So I thought, and like the Brendan Walsh horses, they're usually good plays, and they get overlooked sometimes a little bit. So Shiitake's the one I'm on too, and I like 3 of the same 4 other ones that you did, the 1, 2, and the 6. The other one I liked was Out of Hiding. Class drop from the Oaklawn circuit, so that was actually my second pick. So 11 is my pick for the win, and using with 1, 2, 6, and 8. 6th race is the first part of the co-feature, non-winners of 2 other than Mile on the Turf for fillies and mares. And This is another full field. Who did you land on here?
Well, I narrowed it down a little bit more. I've got four in the pick four. The horse that I would take on top would probably be Dawn the Destroyer for Kerry McLaughlin and Louis Saez. Coming off a race at Gulfstream at 7.5 furlongs, stretching out a little bit to a mile. If you go back to her races back at Saratoga, had two back-to-back really nice races, a win in an allowance race and a good third in the Prioress, a Grade 2 stake. So I think Dawn the Destroyer fits well on class. I'd also use Esquisse, the 8-horse for Ortiz, first-time North American for Graham Motion. Always a nice angle coming off some decent races in France with 3 triple-digit time form ratings. I also took a look at the 6-horse Last Promise Kept for Tom Proctor. Nice race in the stakes race at Aqueduct last time out, kind of overmatched. But if you go back to the allowance level where she is going back now, she won at Keeneland last October and came from way out of it under Florent Giroux. So win over the track is a big deal. And then the other horse that I use in here, and this may be a sentimental choice, is Galilea, the 2 for Angel Montano. I skipped on this horse back when I was playing NHC, and Corey Lannery picked up the mount. And I don't think I remember telling you about this. This was the beginning of the end for me on Saturday. I'd hit 3 races in a row at Tampa, and I passed on Corey with a pickup mount, and she was 9-1. Came flying from the outside. And she also has 5 lifetime wins, which is the most in the field. Always a nice handicapping angle. So I think Dawn the Destroyer is my pick. I would use Last Promise Kept, the 6, and Esquisse, the 8, and Galilea, the 2 underneath.
I am going to use, and I didn't take French in school, so I'm not sure on the pronunciation, but we'll go with, that sounds good to me, Esquisse for Motion, and Ortiz. I like the jock there as opposed to, I think that usually maybe is a little tip-off as to how much they're firing from the Motion barn, the steady work pattern. So Motion, Ortiz, the work pattern. No standout in here, so I thought you might get a little bit of a price on that horse. So that's my win pick. Slightly over Dawn the Destroyer. That's the one I like next. And then after that, I think I don't see a standout in here, so I'm going to go deep and actually use the 2, the 9, the 10, the 11, and 14. I doubt the 14 draws in, but I think it's got a shot if she does. So I'm going to add her to the list. Probably she won't get in, and that'll cut the cost of the pick 4 ticket down a little bit. 7th race is a claiming event for 3-year-old fillies on the main track at 6 furlongs. I took the 2, Miss Rocco, for Brad Cox. Ortiz again here. I thought there's a lot of speed in this race, and this horse has shown an ability to sit off the pace just a little bit, and I think that rate ability will serve her well. So number 2, Miss Rocco, is my pick in the 7th. But I think the fairgrounds horses are the ones to focus on here. Usually in these claiming races, that's the case, and I think it's been true so far. So the 1, the 3, and the 8 all coming out of fairgrounds races. I'm going to use those horses as well. I'm going to leave the 3 out of my pick 4, but for within the race, you might want to include in a 4-horse box 1, 2, 3, and 8. But Mrs. Rocco is my win pick in the 7th. How about you?
I like Mrs. Rocco. I thought this race sets up well for either Mrs. Rocco or Medlin, the 3, or Tied Up, the 1, because the outside horse is going to go at it. It looks like the Shape of You, the 7, the Cat, the 8. Also some speed with horse, so lots of speed in here, so I think it does play to a closer. I'm going to use those 3, the 1, 2, 3, plus the 8, just in case the Cat clears the outside. A lot of times you look at a race like this, and your automatic impulse is, oh, there's lots of speed, so they're all going to go to the lead, and somebody's going to close. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes a jockey thinks, well, there's too much speed in here, I'll take back, and then one horse gets to an easy lead, and that's the angle that really pays off in a sprint like this. If you do have somebody that looks like they're going to get hooked up in a speed duel. So I think the Cat has a chance to clear from the outside, and Corey's riding really well right now. So I think I'm going to use the Cat in there, but I think for a win pick, I would use Tied Up or Mrs. Rocco. So not a strong opinion. I'm going to use all 4 of them in pick 4.
8th race is the other half of that non-winners of 2 other than 1-mile turf race. And Mark Cassey was telling us in an interview we did on Sunday that he's pretty sure Magical Sky is going to draw in. And I like her a lot. coming out of Gulfstream. Last two buyers, 85, 86, really strong. She's 1-for-1 at Keeneland. So she's going to be a single for me to keep the ticket manageable. I like Brooks House, the 3. So if Magical Sky doesn't get in, I think I'd probably single Brooks House, not with as much confidence, but to keep the ticket manageable on the pick 4. But I like Magical Sky a lot in there. I'm going to use the 2, the 3, the 7, and the 9 with her within that race in exactas, and then single Magical Sky when we get to the pick 4. How about you?
And we don't talk about it, but that's exactly what I had written down. If Magical Sky gets in, she's a single for me. Perfect outside post for the closing style. Cassie and Le Peroux, she's won here before. Think she could be a standout here if she does get in. If she doesn't get in, I went to Mythical Mission, the 2-horse for Ortiz in Motion, simply off back class. The horse is running in all stakes races for the last couple of years at Woodbine, turf and synthetic, and has some nice speed figures and has been competitive in every single race. Hasn't run worse than 4th, maybe lifetime. I don't see anything. Yeah, one 4th place. The others are all in the money. So I think that's a safe bet that she's going to be in the money with Ortiz taking the ride. But I think Magical Sky is better. If she doesn't get in, I'm going to use 2 horses. I'm going to use Mythical Mission, and I'm going to throw in a Neil Drysdale, first-time North American, La Sardane. I love French horses coming over here that again has a good time form rating, and Flavien Prat takes the ride, and not much better on the turf. So I think La Sardane has a shot if Magical Sky doesn't get in.
All right, let's talk pick 4. Starts in the 5th race. I'm going to go 5 deep in the first leg, the 1, 2, 6, 8, 11. I'm going to go 7 deep in the next leg, thinking that 1 or 2 of these will scratch, certainly the 14. But I've got 2, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. 2, 1, 8 in the third leg, and then single the 13 at the end. So that's a little north of $50 if they all stay in, but I suspect there will be at least one scratch that'll cut it down. Probably the ticket will end up being under $50. How about you?
I think it's $52.50 the way you put it out there. Kind of a similar ticket. I've got almost the same horses the first leg. I've got 1, 2, 6, 7, 11. And if you don't want to go that deep, I think Shiitake is a good play in the first leg, along with probably Vandalay is not that good. 0 for 10. I just can't put a lot of confidence there. So I'm going to go deep. 1, 7, 11. Second leg 2, 5, 6, 8. Third leg 1, 2, 3, 8. And I'm going to have a if or. If the 13 gets in the last leg, I am going to single Magical Sky. If she doesn't get in, I'll double my ticket and use Mythical Mission, the 2, and the 11 La Sardane. So if Magical Sky gets in, that's 5 by 4 by 4 by 1. It's only a $40 ticket. If it doesn't happen, it's an $80 ticket with a 2 and the 11 in the last leg.
Best of luck with your wagers on the Wednesday card. We're here doing this podcast every day of the spring meet at Keeneland. This is the In the Money podcast.